So I hiked into Harper's Ferry and used my 0 day with my friends Steve and Susie. And the first thing I did was go to the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, which is headquartered here in Harper's Ferry. There's a little museum there, and I got my photograph made out front and registered in their log book. And it was a lot of fun. I was actually number 244 to log in here. I was 514 when I started at Springer, so you can see a lot of people do not make it all the way here. But after the ATC, obviously it's Harper's Ferry, and it's full of history. And on the night of October 16th, 1859, 19 heavily armed men hiked down these same hills around me. They were led by their leader, John Brown. Some were local farm boys, some were seasoned veterans who had fought in guerrilla war in disputed Kansas on the slavery issue. 2 of them were Brown's youngest sons. There was a fugitive slave from South Carolina and an African-American student from Oberlin College. There was also a pair of Quaker brothers from Iowa who had abandoned their pacifist beliefs, just to name a few. And they'd come to Harper's Ferry to make war on slavery. The raid that Sunday night would be the most daring on record as white men trying to incite a slave rebellion. It was only a skirmish in military terms, but it electrified the nation. It brought fear to Southerners worried about more slave rebellions. It galvanized Northerners who desired an end to slavery. And it split political parties and opened a door for Lincoln to become the next elected president. The past 10 years had turned from a fierce abolitionist into a man willing to take up arms and even die for his cause. The previous year, he had worked with Harriet Tubman to lead dozens of slaves north to freedom. The attack on the arsenal and the hope of thousands of slaves joining with John Brown did not go as planned, and they sought cover in an engine house. 15 of the 19 were dead or wounded. And within 36 hours, President Buchanan had sent a company of Marines from Washington down to squash this skirmish. And the cast of characters that came down there and from there forward is really an amazing list of people. That company of Marines was led by none other than Lieutenant Colonel Robert E. Lee. And his main negotiator to try to get Brown out of the engine house was none other than First Lieutenant Jeb Stuart. Brown and the captured men were found guilty in treason and actually hanged on December 2nd, 1859, just 47 days after the raid. And those in attendance for the hanging were the same Robert E. Lee, a Presbyterian professor by the name of Thomas Stonewall Jackson, and a young unknown actor in the crowd named John Wilkes Booth. And now you know the rest of the story.